Hi, I'm Royal Stuckey from Stuckey's Benches, here today to talk about our new Royal Rest. I'm kind of excited to show it to you. Our rest starts out with a 1-inch steel base plate, and we bevel the edges, and we use a ball end mill to make a very comfortable handle. The rest weighs 43 pounds, so we wanted it to be comfortable to carry. The only tool an operator needs is this Allen wrench, and there's 2 rare earth magnets in here that hold it in, and you just drop it in there. You got a little finger pocket there to pick it out. We also store our extra 4-inch stop in here for when you're shooting uphill. What happens is when you're shooting uphill, that short one, no matter how high it is, the gun will run over it. I'll show that in a minute, and you can use this one for that, like King of 2 Mile stuff. Our jack screws are 5/8 18 fine thread. We've got a nylon wear washer in there to keep it from barking up the frame when you're adjusting and tie it. Oh, and these are thread milled into the frame, so they're quite snug. We handle our feet a little differently than most people. We don't have a point on here that jumps out and puts these hairy scratches in your bench right feet. It fits in the bench right foot, so when you're sliding it around on the bench, it'll travel with it. All of our rests ship with the super feet. So coming up from our base plate, we have our windage mechanism here, and these side plates are bolted down. Everything is red Loctited. It's not going to come loose in the field. Our windage is really fine, and there's no extra movement in it. I have a little drawing here that could help us show that to you. These are those side plates, and there's ball bearings in there. There's weather seals, like a Chicago rawhide type weather seal there. And then inside we have a bronze bushing that we press in there, line board and thread milled in place so that we can get that fit on those threads that we hand lap in. And that'll give you an idea of how we achieve this movement with no slop in it. You can see that when that switches directions, it's 100%. There'll be no vertical jump in and out. When you make a windage adjustment, it will be in the direction of windage. There's 2 hardened and ground rods in here that run on 4 linear bearings in this block, 2 on each side, that carry the movement, so this can work with a very heavy gun. Moving up from the windage block is our first stage stainless steel body, and it has detent holes here, so you can put a lot of weight on that baby and it ain't coming down. And then our second stage is a 16 thread per inch Acme thread. Our hand wheel is not an EDM cut affair. It's all machined, and the edges are all chamfered inside and out, all the way around. It has a stainless insert in it, which runs on that bearing when it gets down there, and also makes for a long living thread up there. With the rest all the way up, you can see that it is not, there's no rock in this rest. The top pivots, but I mean, there's no end shake here, and there's not the usual flopping around movement in the ones that we've tested anyway. Coming down, you can hear it running on the bearing. As it comes down, you'll see we have a stainless steel stop washer here to keep the hand wheel and the top from interfering with each other. We've used a lot of rest in the past where when you were screwing it down, it stopped by hitting the top, which left a big old honking silver scratch in your hand wheel, and we've eliminated that with that stop washer. It's not hitting the 4-inch stop or the top. I'll let this first stage down here. This would probably be a good time to talk about ambidextrous use. To switch to left and right-handed, you screw this one out, move it over here to the right-handed side, and then you swing this over, and you'll feel that keyway come around, and now all of your controls are on your right side as you're working over there. I'll move this back to the left, so when I show you how we use it, it'll be on my preferred side. We can't all be right. Some of us have to be left. Moving to the top, our top is an all-purpose top thanks to this 2-bag system, which was developed working with Edgewood Bag Company. The guys are great to work with. With this top all the way in here, that's our 3 settings. You can screw this all the way in, and this will get down to a little 3/4 inch gun, like a little crack shot or a Savage Rascal or a Cricket for your children and grandchildren, and that way they can start on a rest where they can build a lot of confidence right off the bat. This can handle from 3/4 inch to 3.5 inch by moving these sliders out. We push these pins out. These pins are held into these blocks by a rare earth magnet. You can see it here in the bottom, and that pin stays in there. These are quite tight. You have to put the top in and then put the bottom in. But in our widest setting, we can move out to a 3.5 inch 4-inch. So all the way from 3/4 to 3.5. Now, another thing that our all-purpose top will do that most won't is we can switch to shoot a fixed bag in a match. We have a 1-piece Edgewood New Farley style bag here. These bags are available, I believe, from 2.5 to 4 inches. So you can go out to a 4-inch gun with a fixed bag in here. Compress that sand a little bit. Get this pin back in there. And that quick, now we're switched over and we're ready to shoot a true bench rest gun. And the ears apply the pressure the same way. I'll switch this back real quick. You can see exactly how long it would take to, if you were done with a match and you wanted to shoot Grandpa's 92, it'd take you this long to switch. You don't have to have a separate top for all purpose and a separate top for match shooting. You can have one top that will do all of that. Put that pin back in and move this one over. It's really that simple, and this Allen wrench is the only tool a guy needs. Our 4-end stop is adjustable and moves this distance. It moves up and down. The set screw on that is that same Allen wrench that's in the base plate. You can loosen that. You can take that 4-end up or down. It'll move quite high. It's still not high enough when it's all the way up. You need this one for real long shooting. If you're shooting an old antique lever gun or even some of the modern ARs, you can come in here with a Brownells 240 mag tip and loosen this up, and it'll let you take this 4-end stop completely off of there, and now you can shoot any gun that a 4-end stop would interfere with. And the 4-end stop's just this bolt that goes back in here, a wear washer, and this piece is threaded inside and out. It screws on here with the nut. If I know I'm going to be shooting lever guns in a shooting session, I will not tighten this with a screwdriver. I just tighten it firmly by hand and it works. If I'm not going to be, I'll just give it a little bump with that mag tip 240. I like to run this gun about right there. We'll screw this on. And again, we have this Allen wrench right here in the base to firm that up. Now we should be back to this gun here. This gun is a 2-inch gun. We fit that in there. We like to get that fitted in there pretty firm, but with this 1-to-1 ratio, you don't want to get too crazy tightening that down. You want your gun to be able to recoil and come back to your 4-end stop. There's an O-ring on there to protect your 4-end, but the temptation with this type of deal is to get it too tight, and you'll see vertical stringing if you get it too tight. This bag, the guys at Edgewood did a fabulous job. That sand is staying up here in the top of this bag. So many bags, the sand falls down and gets in here and starts pushing the gun out, but they've really made that. It's one chamber of sand, but they've really done a great job of defining it. When we shoot this gun, we will, as the gun, when we get on target, we'll use our course stop and this one to get on target. Like when we're in the middle of our bull there, we trim up, we tighten up here. A guy shoots, the gun recoils, you push it back to the stop, and then you can use this Drew screw and your windage to make your shot-to-shot corrections, and they're all right here where your preferred hand is. You fire your gun, it recoils, you push it back. If there's any elevation changes, they can be made on this Drew screw or on this windage here. Those will be your movements. And then your target to target, you can do here and do here again and then come back. That's the way we use the rest. One thing I failed to point out here is that there's a level on each side of the rest, so that whether you're shooting right-handed or left-handed, you always have a level that you can see while you're on the gun. I believe we've pretty well covered it. That's what our Royal Rest is. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or check us out on our website at shootingbenches.com. We'd be happy to try to field any questions you might have. Thank you.